Hi, and welcome back to Lovely Cooks Delicious Eats. Today I'm going to be making for you a fried chicken that I'm going to be using cornstarch in place of flour. And then I'm going to be pairing my fried chicken with a homemade mac and cheese that I am going to top with crispy chicken bacon. So for starters, I have put up a pot and I put it on high heat. I'm going to cover that and let that come to a boil. Water has been salted. The noodles I am going to be using for my homemade mac and cheese are the Elbows by Primo. And I also put up my saucepan to start getting hot, and so that we can get ready on the cheese sauce as well. Because I'm not going to make my cheese sauce on a high heat. I want time for this pot to get hot before I put in my butter. Okay guys, so my pot is nice and hot. So I'm just going to open up this butter. Trying to do this with one hand. And let that melt. Ooh, hot! So you don't want to burn the butter. So you want it to melt. This will happen very quick. To the butter, I'm going to add 1/4 of cream cheese, like that. I want it to just get soft. I have lowered my heat is on medium. I don't want my heat too high. The only reason I add this in now is because I want it to soften up the cream cheese. And to that, I'm going to add about 1.5 cups of milk. I'm going to give it a good stir. This time I'm going to want to try to push down on my cream cheese, incorporate it in with my butter. I wouldn't recommend putting in too much salt, just because it can get salty. Because cheese, depending on the one you buy, can be salty, so you want to wait and kind of taste after you put your cheese in. My water has come up to a boil. I've just added in my Elbow noodles. You want to cook your noodles in discretion of the packaging or until the tenderness that you like. So there you go with that. At the same time, my sauce is still, butter and cream cheese are still in here. Getting ready for my cheese. This is the cheddar cheese that I'm going to be adding in. There is some, like a little piece of marble that I had that's also in here as well. So at this time, I'm going to start adding in my cheese. And I'm going to do it in batches. So I'm not just going to dump all of the cheese I have in the plate, just because I don't want it to clump on me. I do want it to turn into a sauce. So I want to melt this down. And then when this is melted down and smooth, I'm going to add in some more cheese. So you want to continue that process. And this is cheddar, just regular cheddar cheese. And then there is a piece that has like marble that I had in my fridge that I wanted to use out. So keep mixing. As you can see, I've already added in majority of my cheese. So I'm going to finish up adding this in. I do have my heat on medium still. And I'm going to just keeping stirring it. And keeping in mind that as it, after I turn off the stove and it gets cold, it can turn into a solid again. So I am going to keep my heat on very minimal until my noodles are ready. And then I'm going to mix everything together. You can see, I do want it to thicken up a little bit more. So I'm going to finish in adding in that cheese, and then I'll get back to you. Now I have gone ahead and added in salt and pepper to taste. And this step is optional. I am going to add in 1 tablespoon of mayonnaise. Take a look at the color though, guys. It's coming out so nice. I just added in the mayo and I'm stirring it up. But it's a nice mac and cheese type of color. I do have to break down the mayonnaise that I just added in. A good alternative to mixing this up would be using a whisk. Probably make your life a lot easier. So use a whisk, not a spoon. So as you can see, The whisk is definitely a better option. I wish you guys could really take in the color. It's really, like, the video's not showing you the exact color, but it is vibrant orange. So the cheese sauce is done. Just gotta wait on my noodles. At this time, I'm gonna go ahead and prepare my chicken bacon. I have cut my chicken bacon into little pieces, and I am heating up some oil, and I'm gonna put that in there to get crispy. I'm gonna spread it out evenly. I did put a little bit of oil in the pot because this is chicken bacon and doesn't really have the oil, so I put a little bit in there just to help it along. My noodles are done. So is the cheese sauce. So I'm going to get ready to mix them all together. And the bacon is cooking up nicely. So what you're going to want to do is don't put all your noodles at once. Almost do it like you're going to layer a lasagna. So I'm going to put some of the cheese sauce, mix this all up really nicely, put a little bit of layer of my bacon, and then I'm going to top it off, and I'm going to put the rest of the noodles with the rest of the cheese sauce and top it off with the chicken bacon. Cheese sauce. Just pour. Remember, we have to keep some for the top. You want to mix this up. Sauce. Just pour. Remember, we have to keep some for the top. You want to mix this up. See that, guys? It's all prepped and ready to go be washed. Always wash your meat. All nice and clean. So let's get ready to season it up. Okay, so we're gonna do about 3 teaspoons of green seasoning. To that, I'm going to add my garlic. So I'm gonna do 2 teaspoons again of my garlic. Then I'm just going to sprinkle in so that it's enough for when I'm mixing it together. That's my vegetable blend. And this is the Korean spiced one. Just sprinkling it in. This is the spicy Montreal chicken. Good coating. And this is just the regular Montreal chicken. No, this is the spicy one, sorry. The other one was regular. Black pepper. And then you want to do salt to taste. Keeping in mind these other seasonings do have salt in it. So you don't want to make your food salty. So you're going to want to get in there with your hands. Give it a good mix. Make sure you get all that green seasoning all over your chicken, nicely covered. You see that? Nicely coated. That may be a lot for that one spot, but you get the point. You want it to be nice and coated. Okay, Now you want to let it marinate for minimum half an hour. Overnight is best. So to the chicken, I'm going to add baking powder. And I am only going to add 1 teaspoon of baking powder. Because I want this to be a light breading. I definitely don't want this to be a heavy coating. And to that, I'm going to add in my cornstarch. So that was my baking powder. And if you notice, I'm putting everything directly right on my chicken. So that's 1 teaspoon, 2. That's all, folks. Trust me, you don't want any more than that for this type of chicken. I'm gonna mix it up like that. All nicely mixed and coated. If you like fried chicken, but you don't like the heavy breading on it, this is the recipe for you. So there you go. I'm gonna let that sit for about 10 to 15 minutes. Take a good look at that. I'm gonna turn it over at this time. See that nice color? Far from, it's not done yet, but we are going to flip it a couple times until we get it to the color that we want and until it's done. Take a look at those, guys. Cooking up nicely. That's the first batch. I do have it in this pan because I am going to bake it for about 5 to 10 minutes because I want to ensure it's cooked all the way through. But the color on the outside looks absolutely delicious. I do have another set in here frying. Guys, it's out of the oven. Look at all this goodness. That's how it's looking with the way that I melted the cheese. I still am in the process of frying up my chicken. But doesn't that look so good? Who's coming over? Comment down below. Hey, we're done. Take a look. So I'm taking orders. Who's coming over for dinner? So that's my fried chicken that I fried in cornstarch, as you saw. And this is my homemade macaroni and cheese topped with chicken bacon. Give my recipe a try. And if this is your first time visiting my channel, make sure you like, subscribe, join the family. It's free. Until next time, guys, stay safe. Bye.